Welcome to ChickenMatterTalks. In today's educational documentary, we will explore the origin and history of the Muff Gamefowl bloodline chickens, a heritage line recognized for its distinctive facial feathering and disciplined breeding background. This video is created strictly for educational, historical, and cultural purposes only. Our discussion focuses on heritage development, breeding philosophy, physical traits, temperament, and responsible poultry care. No harmful, unethical, or prohibited activities are shown or encouraged. This content is intended for poultry breeders, hobbyists, researchers, and viewers who are curious about heritage chicken bloodlines. What does muff mean in chickens? Before discussing the bloodline, it is important to clarify the term muff. In poultry, muffs refer to the feathered cheek and jaw area, often accompanied by a beard. This feature is genetic and appears in several chicken varieties around the world. In gamefowl, muff traits became valued not for decoration alone, but also as part of distinct family characteristics maintained through selective breeding. Early origins of muff-type gamefowl. Muff-type chickens have existed for centuries and are believed to have roots in Southeast Asia, India, parts of Europe. As poultry was traded globally, muff traits were introduced into different breeding programs, including early gamefowl lines in the United States. Development of the Muff Gamefowl bloodline. The Muff Gamefowl bloodline developed through the intentional selection of birds that consistently expressed muff and beard traits, combined with strong structural and behavioral qualities. Breeders focused on stable muff expression, balanced body structure, strong skeletal foundation, predictable temperament, reproductive reliability. Over time, this resulted in a recognizable Muff Gamefowl family, foundation stock, and selection standards. The foundation stock for Muff Gamefowl came from birds that demonstrated well-developed muffs and beard, proper body proportion, strong legs and stance, healthy growth patterns, consistent offspring traits. Birds that lacked stability in these areas were removed from breeding programs. Breeding philosophy behind Muff Gamefowl. The breeding philosophy behind Muff Gamefowl emphasized consistency over speed. Key principles included maintaining the muff trait without exaggeration, avoiding excessive outcrossing, preserving line identity, selecting birds that passed traits reliably. This disciplined approach allowed the bloodline to remain stable over generations. Physical characteristics of Muff Gamefowl. Although individual birds may vary, Muff Gamefowl are commonly associated with distinct feathered muffs and beard, medium station and balanced posture, compact and well-proportioned body, strong legs and correct stance, smooth and tight feathering elsewhere. Color patterns may vary, but the muff feature remains the defining trait. Temperament and behavior. Temperament was an important factor in Muff Gamefowl development. Common behavioral traits include alertness and awareness, manageable behavior with proper handling, environmental adaptability, predictable movement patterns. These traits support ethical care and responsible flock management. Genetic considerations in maintaining muff traits. Maintaining the muff trait requires genetic discipline. Breeders must pair birds carefully, monitor offspring consistency, Avoid weakening other physical traits. Maintain health and vigor. Responsible breeding balances appearance, structure, and well-being. Recognition and spread of the Muff Bloodline. The Muff Gamefowl bloodline gained recognition as breeders observed consistent traits. Line identity remained stable. Knowledge was shared through breeding communities. Rather than mass distribution, recognition came through documented results. Role in modern heritage. Breeding. Today, Muff Gamefowl bloodlines are preserved by breeders who value heritage poultry conservation, educational breeding programs, ethical and responsible practices. Some breeders maintain muff lines as pure families, while others integrate them cautiously into structured programs. Responsible care and management. Proper care is essential to preserving muff gamefowl. Best practices include clean and dry housing to protect facial feathers, balanced nutrition, regular health monitoring, ethical breeding decisions, accurate record keeping. Animal welfare remains the top priority. Common misconceptions about muff gamefowl. A common misconception is that any bird with facial feathers belongs to a muff bloodline. In reality, muff is a trait, not a guarantee of lineage. True bloodlines require documentation. Responsible breeding practices define authenticity. Education helps prevent confusion and misuse of bloodline terms. Cultural and historical significance. The Muff Gamefowl bloodline represents diversity in poultry genetics, traditional selective breeding, respect for heritage traits. Its continued preservation reflects the dedication of responsible breeders. Transparency notice to viewers. This documentary is presented strictly for educational and historical purposes only. No harmful activities are shown or encouraged. ChickenMatterTalks supports ethical poultry education, responsible breeding, animal welfare, transparency and respect for heritage. Conclusion: the Muff Gamefowl bloodline. Chickens demonstrate how specific traits, such as facial feathering, can be preserved through disciplined and ethical breeding. Understanding their origin and history helps us appreciate the importance of responsible poultry heritage preservation. If you found this documentary informative, like the video, subscribe to ChickenMatterTalks. Share this with fellow poultry and heritage enthusiasts. Comment below. Which heritage gamefowl bloodline should we explore next?